Hi, I'm Joe.
And I'm Digna.
Welcome to Relationships.
We're a couple having a few.
Welcome to Coffee Talk. My name's Roberta.
I'm Henrietta.
I'm Bob.
And he's Bob. So we decided to do another episode with our awesome son, Desmond the Great.
A Desposode, if you will.
Another Despacito.
This
No, wait, that means something else. We are fairly fresh off of our maiden voyage in our new RV.
Whoop whoop.
And this is our first breakfast time episode, our breakisode.
Our breakisode, our coffee talk
It's
episode.
Coffee Talk. That is an old SNL skit, if you guys don't know.
They have no idea.
Look it up. I mean, I feel like Dave knows. And yes, I'm calling out specific Dave. Hashtag Dave Totaro. So we just wanted to kind of go over what we did and how the weekend went and things like that. Just a little bit of a catch up and get a little fresh perspective on something like this.
Des, can you do you remember the name of our RV?
Viking.
A Viking. Can you give us a little mental tour of it? What it looks like inside?
There's a big bed in the front,
Mm-hmm.
and the dining table turns into my bed.
Yeah.
And there's a bathroom right where my head was.
Yes, his head is in the bathroom.
I will say so it's a very small RV, and I mean it's a great RV for just the three of us. We got it all packed, or unpacked, I should say, and we got it all set up, and we're still in the process of settling in. And it was pretty good until we had the music playing, the air conditioner was blasting, and then Desmond was just kind of being, sick. Nothing wrong with that. It's just that's what he was doing. So he was kind of bouncing, and that's when I realized how small the RV really was.
There was a lot going on.
I was just like, I don't know. And I don't know if that's what claustrophobia feels like, but I felt very closed in at the moment. I was like,
It's definitely not an RV that you spend time in. It's an RV that you take somewhere to spend time outside.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think the most inside thing we did was, did we even eat in there?
I think we ate one breakfast in there, yeah.
We ate Burger King.
We did eat Burger King in there, but that was the day we actually got it. And we went and bought Burger King and drove over to a big old parking lot so we can practice parking and driving.
I guess that was technically the pre-maiden voyage. So the pre-maiden voyage, we were like, oh, we don't know how to back up a trailer, so we went to the old abandoned movie theater.
And Applebee's.
Well, yeah, it's
right
behind
in front of
Applebee's. You're right. And we went there and tried backing it up and all that kind of stuff. But we decided to have our first meal right after we just purchased it. We did have some Burger King. The Burger King was delicious, but
very hot.
Since the RV was not plugged into power at the time, there was no AC, so we had to eat kind of with a little bit of quickness there because we were sweating.
Yeah, but
our butts off.
Our butts off. The first weekend that we went was pretty cool. We went for 2 nights to Long Point, which is down by Sebastian, Florida, if you've never been or familiar with the area. And it's a little, not even a peninsula, what would you call it? Just a
little finger off of...
Yeah, that goes out into the lagoon. And
I'd call it a long point.
Yeah, it's an apt name. And we spent 2 nights out there. We would have spent longer, but since we got the RV kind of at the last minute, we weren't able to book nights for, it was Labor Day weekend, so we were
just so happened to be Labor Day
we were lucky
weekend.
that we got the 2 nights that we did, but that's okay. It was good for practice and realizing the things that we forgot, the things that we still needed, the things that we didn't need to bring. So it was good practice.
The good thing about the RV is because of its size, you really can't overpack. You can definitely underpack, but that's just planning, and you work those kinks out. But it's not like, oh my gosh, I need my fancy umbrella that has Wi-Fi and all this kind.
Not a thing.
You just don't bring that particular item because weight restrictions and all those kind of things.
So Bob, what was what was your favorite part of the RV? Like anything you brought with you to play with, your favorite feature of the RV, your favorite thing about the weekend that we had. What was the best thing that you liked?
The big toy gravedigger.
The big toy gravedigger? Did you take that? Oh yeah, you did. I forgot about that. What did you do with that big toy gravedigger? Were you playing by yourself or?
I saw a friend.
Uh-huh.
Her name was Delilah.
Oh.
Delilah. Where do you know Delilah from?
Her giant RV.
Her giant
Giant
RV.
RV.
So is she somebody you knew before we went, or did you meet her while we were out there?
I met her.
Oh. Yeah, so we did meet. They just happened to be really close to us, our campsite, and we met them. They're really nice people, and they have a daughter named Delilah who's pretty close to Desmond's age. So he had somebody to play with while we were out there.
What else did you guys do while we were out there? That second day. So you played frisbee and you played with monster trucks and stuff one day. Did you do something in the water? Did you do something that you like decorated something?
Oh, we went to their little pool and we decorated donuts.
Donuts, yes. One of the
Donuts.
family friends made donuts out of like the Pillsbury biscuits. She took those and kind of wrapped them into donut shape and fried them. They were delicious.
Really good donuts.
Yes, I served some two to Mommy.
You did.
So what kind of stuff did you use to decorate the donuts? What did you put on your donuts?
Icing and sprinkles.
So now it's icing on a cake, but
Oh,
if you put it on a donut, is it frosting?
There was also cinnamon.
Cinnamon. Oh yeah, it was like a cinnamon sugar mix. So it was sugar on sugar on sugar.
It's good that they did this outside because it looked like a sprinkle war zone out there when they were all done. So it was pretty good.
Bob, what do we do in the evening?
We saw a campfire.
We did have a campfire. What did you guys do around the campfire?
Played around it.
Wow, that is some riveting stuff right there.
I was thinking you guys played chase and you danced
We also
to the
did
music
that.
that was playing. Yeah. I mean, I
We
know
played
that my
really good.
memory's failing me, but man, yours is brand new and it's hard to pull anything out of that steel trap of yours.
I know there was a golf cart there. Did you happen to sit on it or anything?
We went to the playground there.
You went to the playground on the golf cart?
Yeah. And the song did, and I had to get out of there.
Did it sound like crickets or something?
No, it sounded like owls and stuff.
Oh, were
Ow.
there cicadas maybe?
No.
I bet there were.
That was a good little whistle. Can you do that whistle for us again? That's pretty good.
That was pretty
I like
good.
that.
Ooh, let's talk about one more thing we did while we were camping. Remember we walked over to the other place? What was that called?
The tide pool?
There was a tide pool. We drove to the tide pool, but remember we walked across a bridge to a little place. Do you remember what it was called? It was called Boy Scout Island. Do you remember we walked around it and all the trails? Tell us about some of the critters we saw.
We saw a golden silk spider.
Mm-hmm.
That's
a
right.
big one, also known as a golden silk orb weaver, which, if my Google's research is correct, is also known as the banana spider.
PhD in Google says.
We also saw 3 crab spiders.
Yeah, what are those ones? The orbit.
Oh, the
orbital
spiny
weaver?
back orb weaver.
Orb weaver.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they do look like crabs though. They look like little itty bitty crabs. But yeah, that particular island, there's a bridge that connects it to Long Point.
Also saw dolphins.
We did see dolphins. You're right. But that island is specifically called Boy Scout Island because, surprise, surprise, the Boy Scouts do like their camping there. It is what they call primitive camping, and it's pretty much as it sounds. There's no lights, no phones, no motor cars, and
Or roads.
or roads for that matter. Yes. So what you do is you just set up your tent on that particular island.
And no beverage. But I don't know the
Or
word.
should I say beverages?
Yeah.
No beverages. I
No beverages.
mean, no brestrogons.
The only beverages that you bring yourself.
Yeah, so anything you have on that island, you're supposed to bring in everything. bring everything out. You did find something really cool on that island. What did you find?
Snake skin.
Snake skin.
We didn't actually talk about what kind of snake it was. What kind of snake do you think it was?
Black mamba.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. All the way from Africa or wherever it is. Is it Africa? I don't know.
I don't know.
Look it up. Google it. Yeah, we were walking and old Eagle Eye Des looked on the ground. He says snake skin. And sure enough, it was there. It was untouched. It was like fully intact. It was like really good shape. We brought it back. At first, he didn't want to touch it. So we had found a stick on the island and he was holding it with the stick. So he actually looked like some sort of a snake wrangler. What do you call it? Snake?
A hunter? I don't know.
Snake tamer?
Sure. Of a dead skin.
We'll just call it a snake guy. And so the snake guy had his stick out there and he was holding the snake skin away from him, and then he realized that there was no snake, and then he was kind of cool with it. But yeah.
What happened to that snake skin, buddy?
Ants ate it.
Can you explain to us what happened?
We accidentally left it outside on the picnic table, and ants, yum, 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 yum.
Well, I will say we didn't accidentally leave it outside. It was snake skin.
It was meant to stay outside.
It wasn't going to come. You weren't going to snuggle with it at night.
Can you imagine if we would have brought it in, the ants would have found it inside?
Zoinks!
Yeah, we left it on the picnic table overnight, not thinking anything of it, and the red ants there are...
Mom, you remember you put bug spray before we even camped.
What?
Yeah, we put bug spray.
Yeah, we put bug spray
But
on
bug
our
spray is
bodies.
not going to keep ants away from something they want to eat. So the ants were pretty impetuous, persistent, and they climbed their little butts up the picnic table in a nice straight line and just devoured that snake skin and left like chunks of it here and there, but it was definitely not intact the next morning.
It was actually impressive. I wish we had some sort of time-lapse footage of it. Just
That would have been cool.
It was just in these tiny little pieces. It was crazy what they did in just a few hours. I mean, it was fine when we went to bed, and then
it wasn't.
and there you go.
So that was our camping trip. It was pretty fun. We did end up going to like he said, the tide pool, which is actually in the Sebastian Inlet. And would the boys spend the afternoon hunting down? Crabbies. How were you hunting them? Or how was Dad hunting them, I should say?
He flipped a bunch of rocks, and Miss Trish, she caught one. Ah!
Exactly.
Like a little girl.
There you go, Trish. Like a little girl. Yeah, what we would do is if you think of them kind of like bugs, because that's really what they are akin to, there were rocks there in the tide pool in Sebastian. So if you flip over the rock, they're trying to hide. And as soon as you flip the rock, they scatter. So what we would do is we being me.
I was wondering who else was hunting
all of
them.
many of us.
But you.
But yeah, so what I would do is
He did have 3 kids following him with buckets who wanted crabs, but none of them wanted to. 4 kids, sorry. None of them wanted to touch the crabs.
So they had buckets, and there was a little bit of water and whatnot in the bucket, and we'd put them. We did return them back to the wild, but, I put them in the little buckets. But yeah, so I would pretty much pick it up and trick or treat and give them their little prize, and then they'd have their little crabs that they would look at but not touch. And Desmond didn't even want me to put it in the bucket while he was holding the bucket, so I had to actually hold the bucket and put it in myself. And the second time, he's walking away so he could put the bucket on the ground, and I was like, well, just hand me the bucket and I'll do it. So he goes to hand me the bucket, and then I just put the crab in there.
Haha.
Snuck it in.
That wasn't funny.
It was hilarious to me, so
Not funny.
I think it was an extremely hilarious thing.
So yeah, overall, our Labor Day weekend excursion extraordinaire was pretty much a success. So yeah, we definitely forgot more than a handful of things, actually. Some of them being relatively important, otherwise we wouldn't have bothered coming home. But because they were pretty high on the important scale, we did come back the first night briefly, picked up what we needed, grabbed a quick shower, and then headed back out. So Technically, of the 2 nights, we did not shower in the RV both nights, but we did the second night, and it was nice to have. It was very convenient.
The shower was very adequate, I can say.
Quite adequate.
I'm very impressed.
More adequate when we remember to turn the heater on.
Well, I'm very impressed with the size of the bathroom and all that stuff in that thing. It's a good chunk of real estate for that tiny little RV, but having a toilet and a full size shower that I can actually stand up in, and I don't have to get in the fetal position to clean myself. Yeah.
Yes, that was definitely one of the stipulations. Was can Joe stand up in the shower?
Or can I stand up in the RV? I mean, that's a big
true.
piece too.
Yeah.
So.
There are surprisingly, quite a few RVs in which Joseph cannot stand up or fit in the shower.
And I'm 6'2". I'm not a giant. I mean, I'm not tiny, but I'm not a giant. But yeah, that's pretty much what we want to do a little episode just to talk about our awesome weekend. Another good thing about it, so even though it was such a short excursion for Labor Day, we were there Thursday night and Friday night, so we left Saturday morning. But the good thing is we came back, we recovered all our equipment, cleaned
Recovered our
up.
equipment. Yes, we're still in the Army, folks.
Yeah. But after we did that, it was still 3:00 on a Saturday, so we had
it was
almost
5:00 on a Saturday.
Close, and we and we had a good chunk of Saturday, all of Sunday, and even Monday because of Labor Day. So it was actually kind of an
extra long.
Yeah, it was really nice because we could have been out there and come in come in Sunday night or come in even early Monday kind of thing. So, but we had plenty of time to just enjoy ourselves and recover because I don't know about you, when we got done with that day, I had sweat so much that I was ready for bed.
Yeah, we were pretty burnt out. Not burnt out, just tired.
Desmond fell asleep in the car on the way back while we were dragging the trailer and all that stuff.
Was there anything else you wanted to add about our trip? Any last minute thoughts, Bob?
I don't really know anymore.
You don't really know anymore?
I think we covered it.
On another note, Desmond is now doing a swimming practice, not just like a learning how to keep yourself alive in water, but an actual
like a swim team.
Learning how to be on a swim team. So he did his first swim lesson on
Tuesday morning, and he's got his second in just a little while, which we're going to get ready for. So stay tuned for our next RV recap, which will be sometime in late October. We're hoping to catch a manned rocket, and we'll be staying closer to where that rocket goes up on the Space Coast. So pretty excited about that one.
Pretty excited.
Well,
let's do a little
Poddeck.
Poddex.com. All right, today's question comes to you from our listener. What is the worst job you've ever had?
Working at Ross. Hated working there.
My dad is training for the Army.
You thought I was training for the Army? That probably wasn't a highlight in my career, my illustrious career. But no, I really genuinely did not like working at Ross for the whole 2 or 3 months I was there.
There you go. What's the worst job you've ever had, Desmond?
I hate being a sewing master.
A sewing master? What does that even mean? And if you were a master of something, why would you hate being that?
How did you get so far in that career hating it? When did you become a sewing master?
Well, I hate it because I got fired yesterday.
Oh.
Wow.
I thought it was going to be something like picking up dog poop.
Me too.
That's where I was going with that one.
Picking up dog poop is clearly not as bad as being a sewing master. I'm very sorry that you got fired yesterday.
Especially because the sewing master is, a job that you have just walking around with a plastic needle pretending to sew things.
Hey, I really sew things.
Is that like spinning a yarn?
What's the worst job you've ever had?
Picking up dog poop.
Uber Eats.
Uber Eats is a good job. No, I honestly, it wouldn't be the entire job, but I mean, there were ups and downs, but that first deployment to Iraq, when you're standing around with JP-8 burning feces, is kind of a low point of
similar to picking up poop, except burning it?
Just burn. Yeah, it's already been gathered in half of a steel drum.
Hopefully you don't have to pick up poop that is human.
Yeah, well, that you're supposed to pretty much cook it until it's ash, so there's nothing liquid left. And
Ew.
exactly.
He
Now,
had to stir the poop that was on fire.
dig the poo hole. And then you had to dig the poo hole, and you had to bury the poo.
Ugh. Desmond, is burning poop worse or better than being a sewing master?
And it
I'd rather do burning poop.
You'd rather burn poop?
well, the worst part about the whole thing, I can still remember this, was it was each like squad. I don't know which team, whatever nomenclature you want to use, but each one had to do it every so often. But you were supposed to burn it till crispy.
Mm.
And when you dig a hole to bury it, and there's already some non-crispy, meaning somebody else didn't do their job right, so you're digging poo through poo to bury your poo. Yeah. So a good time was had by most.
Well, that was a good note to end our interview on. Yay!
All right, guys. Don't half bury your poo. Don't half burn your poo.
Don't be gross.
Definitely don't be gross. Wash your hands. Be safe.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
This has been a Getting to Know Brews presentation.
Music provided by purpleplanet.com. That's purple-planet.com.